there. Hey there. Hey there. Yes. Oh my gosh, you guys. Welcome. Welcome everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Yay. Ooh. Welcome to the Edible Spirit Live New Moon Transmission. Thank you for being here. Let us, and by us I mean all of us, but especially we, take a moment and get grounded in this space. Very wise friend of mine once said that grounding is not something that you arrive at. Grounding is something that you choose. Grounding is something that happens because you choose to make it happen. Hi, guys. Oh, who dat? And basically, cutie. Hi, everyone. When you choose to get grounded, you are getting present. You're putting your roots into the earth. You're reminding yourself that you are a human being, whether you're divine or mortal or some combination of both. You are connecting to the place where our physical meat sacks theoretically are, which is earth. And that when you get grounded, when you get present, when you show up, when you calm down, when you slow down, the main characteristic of that is acceptance of how things are, so that we also like to call that the 0 step, so that you can then take the first step. So let's be here. And just thanking all of you and thanking all of the spirits of the land upon which we are doing this transmission, and to all of the ancestors, guides, angels, archangels, masters, nature spirits, all you beautiful light beings that are with us. Please join this working and transmit these frequencies as thoroughly and delicious as possible through all of us, so that we may carry this light forth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For those of you who have been here before, welcome back. For those of you who have not been here before, welcome. This is the Edible Spirit Live New Moon Transmission. It is part of the Edible Spirit Experience, which is our newly launched, as of last month, the babies. It's our newly launched streaming service, subscription service, which basically gives you programming, spiritual programming throughout the month. Regular weekly readings, these new moon and full moon live streams, and then special events every month. We did a channeling event last month. This month, we're doing a call-in show, and we're going to give the number out to subscribers for people to call in and basically get readings. The trick is you got to do it on the air. And then what else? And then we also do these solstice equinoxes and solstice and equinox rituals. Live rituals. So we're going to be adding more stuff, probably doing some interviews, introducing new products. So this is kind of the new initiative from Edible Spirit, which is designed to both offer you guys connection and community, and also an affordable way of staying plugged in to yourself and to the universe and to your spiritual practice and all of that. So thank you to all of you who have joined. Please, to all of you who are considering, enjoy this offering. This is part of the experience. This is why we're here. This is what we're doing here. So the way this usually rolls is we do a little bit of a channeled astro update. Then we do tarot readings, cards. We pull a card for all of the elements, ether, air, fire, water, and earth. Each one of those elements is connected to a series of signs in the zodiac, so we will cover all of the signs in the zodiac. And the ether reading, which is the card that we pull first, is for everyone. It's like a holistic spatial reading, so that'll be in a moment. And then the final thing we do is we kind of synthesize all that together and give you suggestions for ritual, ways to use your body, your heart, your mind, your spirit to align with this new moon and with full moons, because we do a similar format around the full moon. And the whole point is, we've been thinking about this and talking about this lately, is that if you're connected to yourself, you're prepared. If you're connected to yourself with love, it makes it a lot easier to connect to other people with love. When crisis pops off and things go wrong in your own life, in your own self, in the world around you, in the world at large, kind of the best training is to be present. So what we like about the new moon and full moon streams is that we help you to get present because we are synchronizing our bodies, minds, and spirits with the natural cycles of time as measured by the moon, which goes through its cycles every 2 weeks. And we also do the solstice and equinox streams, which are measuring time by the sun. So each of those is at the quarters of the turn of the wheel at the start of the season. So just those two things are natural cycles of time, and we've just found over the decade plus that we've been doing this practice that aligning with the sun and aligning with the moon helps, because if there are any powers or forces larger than you that are trying to kind of jam your signal, jam your frequency, keep you feeling disconnected, down, depressed, isolated, alone, hopeless, miserable. Basically, when you line up with the sun and the moon, you connect to all of the forces and energies that remind you why you're not all of those things: separate, alone, miserable, whatever, hopeless, right? Grounding helps do that, but when you ground in conjunction with the sun and the moon, it really fucking helps do that. It really helps you to align to yourself, the larger cycles of time, and ultimately your power. I've been thinking about that a lot lately too, how all of this mojo from a shamanistic point of view is about power. What kind of power? Where does it come from? What do you do with it? What are your responsibilities if you have it? How do you cultivate it? How do you develop it? How does it grow? All of that power-related information is also spiritual information, right? The theory is that false power dies eventually, and true power is infinite and enduring. Okay, so basically, this is that new moon moment. So what we like to do, and why we say it's a channeled intuitive astro update, is because we don't consider ourselves to be an astrologer, but we love the system of astrology. There's a theory too that if you learn one system, you can learn all the systems. So if you know astrology, if you know tarot, you have a natural inclination and affinity for all of the other systems. So that's kind of how we approached astrology. And it also helps for organizing the year, organizing our thoughts, thinking of those 12 archetypes in the complete wheel as kind of the sum total of our experience here on Earth, in the same way that the tarot is said to, in those 78 cards, contain all the secrets of the whole damn universe, right? In a little set of divination. So the way we do this is we honor that. We trust that when you channel, Spirit uses what you do know in order to communicate magically, mystically, what needs to be communicated. So, I tend to overthink and overwork and do all that stuff. So if I were to prepare like an astrological treatise for one of these broadcasts, it would be very long and very dry and very boring. And I've done that before, and it's not as much fun, and it doesn't work as well. So that's what we're doing. So we've looked up a little chart. We're going to see. So the first thing to remember is that the sun is conjunct the moon in Aquarius tomorrow, 1:03 p.m. That's Monday, 4th, 1:03 p.m. Pacific time, 4 o'clock on the East Coast. You do the math from there. Sun and the moon are in the same space. So conventional wisdom about a new moon cycle, which is 2 weeks long, 14 days, right? Half a month. New moon to full moon, no moon in the sky to whole moon in the sky. Whole moon is like a peak, a building, a cresting of energy. New moon is a pause, a dormancy, like a zip of energy. And the theory is that we can use this moment to align with the energy of Aquarius, because that's where this new moon is, because we're both drawing power from it in the sun, from the energy of Aquarius, and also intimately engaging with that power internally, and that's the moon. So what does that mean? We are drawing power from the relentless illumination of our connections, our patterns, and our intellectual structures, the thought cycles, the idea dynamics that sustain us. And we could explain this to you, but the channel is a little thicker than the mind that is trying to explain. So theory is that through this whole month, because January 20th is when Aquarius season started. So yeah, I guess it's almost 2 weeks, but not quite. The energy of Aquarius rises. And think of it as like an imperceptible high tension wire that you don't notice is on at first. And then as it rises, it's like, and it's still silent, but like, that's the vibe, okay? That's the vibe. And what is that? What is that? What is that? That is Aquarius season coming on and bringing us to this new moon moment that's all of the connections, patterns, thought processes, dynamics, structures that have kind of gotten us this far. And it's almost like light is being infused into them and making them grow and expand and get bigger and bigger and clearer and brighter, so that, I mean, we don't have to take notice, but when you're confronted with patterns, sometimes it takes more energy to go around, than it does to go through. So that's the theory, is that if we confront the illuminated patterns and tendencies and connections and structures that we're being confronted with right now, if we confront them, if we engage them as they're becoming illuminated, we are able to metabolize them, edible spirit, right? Metabolize them and gain power from them. Because the theory is that maybe that was the cycle that got us this far, that worked really well for a really long time. And now here we are, and it's like that cycle still wants to run, but what if that cycle isn't actually in alignment with where you are, who you are, and what you want? Theory is that this, it just started raining harder. Theory is that this Aquarian illumination is showing you patterns and ideas and structures that need to be looked at. So it's not necessarily just a negative proposition. It just means you got to look at them, because there's probably some good stuff in there and probably some other not good stuff in there. This is just coming, guys. So the good news about Aquarius season, and especially an Aquarian new moon, is that to some extent, looking is the most important thing. Looking, identifying, articulating, calling out those patterns is almost more important than figuring out what you're going to do with them. The sense is that the new moon in Aquarius is giving us an opportunity to check these patterns before they wreck us. Okay, I forgot my pen. It's giving us a chance to check these patterns before they wreck us. But we might need another kind of astrological nudge to come along. Oh, thank you, Spirit, and give us a push to actually do something to correct and adjust these patterns. So I'll get to that in just a second. Point is, for now, just look for them. Look for the patterns. Look for the old, bony intellectual structures, ideas about yourself, ideas about the world, things that are outmoded, beliefs that no longer serve you. Just keep looking for them, because the theory is that we're going to go into Pisces season. It's a great time for dissolving those structures, healing. That's later in the month of February. But more importantly, and this came through the channel while we were talking to you guys, Chiron is going to move into Aries soon. And it's almost like we get to finish a cycle and start working on new stuff inside of ourselves. So that was when we said some other kind of astrological nudge is going to need to come along. Basically, that seems like the tension. You want to be theoretical about it. See, Aquarius is an air sign, to use the elements. It is, and it's very, dualistic. It's both very fixed and very crazy and very traditional and very explosive and expansive. So, but it's all very electric because it's air. It's electric and theoretical and intellectual and very high-paced and high frequency. So the theory is that it's almost better to think about it and to focus rather than not focusing on all of the information that's coming at you, so then you don't know what to do about it anyway. It's like, try to focus, get as much of it, clock as much of it as you can, and then just wait for a minute. We'll be back in a couple weeks doing another stream. Wait for the next series of events to come along. The whole point of this is the question of intuitive astro update. How do we use this new moon moment tomorrow, new moon at 1:03 p.m.? Theory is we take the opportunity to look at patterns, intellectual structures, belief systems, cycles that no longer serve us. And, even better. See, new moon is about creating new patterns as opposed to full moon, which is about ending stuff. So that's what's really cool. The theory is that we're actually using this new moon lunation to just keep paying attention and to promise to pay attention for a whole lunar cycle. See, again, that's stuff that maybe would have come out if we were automatic writing, but it's clear. And in my heart, I got a read on that now, and that's why I keep grasping for my pen, because I want to be able to say, look for the patterns. And to some extent, it's like the patterns have been making themselves known through all of Aquarius season, or the last, a couple weeks, 10 days or so. The theory is that now we get this new moon opportunity to engage that which has been coming up. Love that. So it's been coming up. Now we get to use the new moon tomorrow to engage it. So good news is if you haven't been clocking the patterns, tomorrow starts a glorious, gorgeous 2-week period where you get to clock those patterns. And, hopefully this will give you some context as to why the last, what the fuck is it? It's today's the 3rd. So yeah, so we're looking at about, week and change, 10 days or so. If you haven't been clocking it in that space, you're going to get a couple weeks now between the 4th and, whatever that is, the 18th, to between this new moon and the full moon, to really engage them. So yeah, if you've been struggling with whatever's been coming up in the last 10 days or so, or feeling just kind of confronted, kind of like, oh, I want to look away, or like I want to avoid, or this is too much, or this is too intense. This might have something to do with why, because we're getting like a huge intellectual download about the cycles, kind of raw, unfiltered, right? We don't know what's healthy in them and what's unhealthy. We don't know what's balanced and what's freaking crazy, So that energy's been moving in since Aquarius season started. And now with the new moon, we get to grab that energy, which has been coming with the sun, and engage it internally through the moon. And like I said, set intentions and create an atmosphere over the next couple weeks where we know that we are embracing these cycles, filtering out the shit that we don't need, and activating them anew, right? Activating them anew, okay? So that's going to come back in a minute, someone on here is asking, so today we're going to do cards for you in a minute. But no, this is a little more general for the community before, we're going to be doing more in-depth one-on-one readings with people on the 14th during the Valentine's Day Edible Spirit call-in show. So if you want to get a reading, all you want to do is join the Edible Spirit Experience to get your subscription. You will get the phone number that allows you to call in to us on the 14th. Okay. So otherwise you can go to ediblespirit.com and book a private session. Yes. Okay. Now let me see. Anything else from here? Interesting. Mercury and Lilith are conjunct one another very closely to the new moon, also in Aquarius. Okay, I mean, it's really cool. Lilith, I don't actually know that much astrologically about Lilith, but what I'm getting here is that that has to do with kind of like untapped, concealed, secreted away power. So this aligns. See, this is how the frickin' channel works. This aligns with what we were saying before. Lilith having to do with deep kind of secreted away, compartmentalized, like culturally compartmentalized power, power that has maybe even been conditioned into hiding through these oppressive and or repressive cycles, is screaming through the void, through Mercury right now, and trying to bring even more information. Mercury is good because Mercury is sort of helping to focus the communication from the inner depths about these patterns and to help us really get into it. Again, that's the read, is the new moon is the engagement of the raw patterning, right? Of the raw information about the cycles and patterns that we find ourselves caught up in. And this bit about Mercury and Lilith, basically conjunct this new moon, is just telling us that the voice is coming out clear and deep, right? From deep, deep, deep within repressed power, wells of power. That's what, if you listen closely, if you engage these patterns, if you engage this thick information and get grounded and stay as calm as you can, you're gonna hear answers as to how to break these cycles that no longer serve you, okay? So that will probably come back a little bit later in the ritual. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. That's all she got. Oh, thank you guys. Love you guys too. Thanks for tuning in, Moonlit Wicks. That's so cute. Hi, EK. I love you. Okay, so basically that is your astro update. Let's see what the cards have to say about this situation. Are they going to give us any other insight, information? Yeah, we've been using this OG Morgan Greer deck because it's so cute. Misha, yes, baby. Lilith, right? Divine feminine sexuality. Fierce, right? And yeah, because divine feminine sexuality is so like out and about in the light, right? No, for sure. Divine feminine sexuality being the like most repressed power in all of history, yo. Okay, so now we're going to do some card pulls for you. This will be the question that we pose to the cards. We pose the question, what is the best way for each of the elements to engage this new moon cycle? That's for the next 2 weeks, how best to use it, knowing that we gave you that kind of intuitive astro read, now checking to see what other information. And so, you know, we do this like we do the elements of spirit, the weekly readings that are part of the Edible Spirit Experience. We start with an ether card, then we go into air, fire, water, and earth. Air, well, I'll call out the zodiac signs when we get to them, but hopefully you know what element you are, well, especially you experience babies that are watching. I know you know what element you are. Okay. Oh, one more shuffle. So, best way, oh good, I keep seeing these beauty cards. I love these cards so much. They're so hippy-dippy. They're very free to be you and me. There's a land that I see where the children are free. Come with me, take my hand, and we'll live in a land where the rivers run free, in a land where the shining sea, and we are being and me, you and me. Okay, for the ether babies. Interesting. Oh, this is feast. You guys are gonna like it. Ugh, reversal, reversal, reversal. Your mom. Okay. All frickin' reversals, you guys. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be fun, except for the first card. Okay, so the ether card, when we talk about the elements of spirit readings, the weekly readings that we do, ether reading is for the whole zodiacal chart. It gives us the stank of the air that we are breathing in this moment, the stank of the atmosphere of the moment. And then air is Libra, you know, Gemini, Aquarius, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the first card about how do we all engage this new moon moment, it's the Nine of Swords. Too bright, Nine of Swords, Nine of Swords. Okay, what's that mean? You know, one of the ways I like to think of it is that if the Ten of Swords is the drama queen card of the deck, because it's like, oh, so bad, I'm in a prison of the mind. The Nine of Swords is like a prison. It's like real. It's not the drama queen. It's like the things that go bump in the night are freaking scary. So what does this say? I mean, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I mean, I can't censor the channel because then I would be a fake channel. Just looking at this right away, it says, yeah, so about Black History Month, how about everybody who's white consider and think about the various ways that they have oppressed other people's bodies, especially brown bodies, right? Just like, because this says, like, if you have race-based anxiety, you're not delusional, it's real. If you are paranoid about politics, I mean, obviously within reason, like, got to stay centered. But if you're paranoid about the politics, you should be. If you're, it's like, but I'm being dramatic and I'm channeling. So to go back to this, the theory is that for this lunation, it says swords are air, Aquarius, element of air in the tarot, connected to Aquarius. So the swords are saying, like, whatever you think is the problem is the problem. It's another way of saying that, like, the patterns that are being illuminated are not being illuminated just because they're so amazing. They're being illuminated because some of it works, but some of it doesn't. So asking the question, what are the patterns that keep me in bondage? What are the patterns that keep me in fear? I can't not do this anymore. I just saw some pens hiding over here, so I went and got them. What are the patterns that keep me? What are the patterns that keep me in bondage, right? Mentally, but also physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And the theory is that this is saying that, no, I mean, it's a great time to confront those patterns, which are mental. So that even if they're physical, emotional, or spiritual, the Aquarian influence is to bring up the mental patterning, the ideas, the beliefs, the behaviors, the conditionings that are just not super fresh, So it's real. I love this. I just love this. Why? Because all the other fucking cards are reversed. So generally, reversals mean some kind of torque or twerk or tweak or blockage, which is not a word that we like, but blockage. And the theory is that just looking at them, 4 cards in a row next to the one that's upright, confronting these patterns is going to help to upright the cards, okay? So how best to harness this lunation? So that's my sense is we're going to read this as like, yes, definitely confront the patterns because there's power to be gained from them, energy to be loosened up, but what kind, and a little more instruction as to how best to do it. So theory is for air babies, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, we're looking at a tower reversed, tower reversed, tower reversed, tower reversed. So the question to ask yourselves is, what if everything's already changed and all I got to do is intellectually catch up to my transformation? What if the bomb has already gone off and the completion of my transformation requires confronting old patterns? So it's almost like, brilliant buddy of mine, Mr. Daniel Ryan, CRT, look him up if you want some regression. He said to me once, Michael, compulsive patterns and behaviors are usually a result of a part of you that has died but doesn't know that it's died. So theory is, what if whoever needed the patterns that brought you this far is already gone and all that's left of them is the patterns? What if you've already changed the way that you want to? What if everything is like ready to go? Theory here is that whatever you've been working on in the kind of fortune tellery realm of the world, in terms of work, love, relationships, life, spiritual progress, just whatever your energetic metabolism is going after, is working with, is engaging, whatever your practice may be right now, The theory would be that the turning point has already come and gone. Things have already really fucking changed. But the old patterns, which are connected to some part of you that's already dead but doesn't know that it's dead yet, are still running, giving us a kind of simulation vibe, like you are in a simulation but haven't remembered that it's a simulation yet. Except you have, because all this other part of you that's not in the simulation is present, is going through, change, transformation, work, forward motion, practice, progress, evolution, whatever it is. And the theory is that whatever critical mass you desire to achieve, maybe you've already achieved it. And the work that needs to be done right now is not actually fire-based, like I got to get there, but air-based, like I got to understand it, I got to figure it out, I gotta put the pieces together, connect the dots. Aquarius is also connected to the internet, right? It's the sign that represents the internet kind of most accurately. And therefore we call it like the jigsaw puzzle string theory connectivity. My fucking God, you guys, I just need to tell you for a second, this is coming from Mikey's little heart. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving me the space to be here and let this shit run through my body, because, whoa, just thank you. Okay, now that's the air babies. Now we go into the fire babies. We may zoom through these in a minute, but basically just presume that it's happened and figure out what is making you doubt that the transformation is whole and good and complete, or that the transformation has already popped off, even if it's not whole and complete, that it's in process. And that brings us back to, what are the patterns that keep me in bondage mentally, right? Okay. Fire babies, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, namaste, I love you. Fire babies, your card about how best to handle this lunation, this new moon. Page of Cups reversed. Okay, love you guys. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is not your first time at the rodeo. So if you're lying to yourself, you're only lying to yourself. If you're lying to yourself, you're lying to yourself. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Oh, let me show it to you upright. Little fish coming out. He's like, oh, what fish? I'm so surprised by the fish. I'm such a youth. I'm so innocent and emotional. No, you're not a little doe baby deer in the woods. You're a boss. See, it's fun. How am I supposed to know that everybody I'm talking to right now is a boss? But no, Spirit says open the channel and tell them they're a boss. Means every single fire sign that's watching this right now is a boss. So don't pretend I'm going to the kitchen right away, right? Like, you are the owner and proprietress, owner and proprietarian of this zone. Don't pretend like you're a busboy. Don't pretend like you're a dishwasher. That's another way of saying it. You have responsibilities to yourself to be here. And the theory is like, the sense is that the Aquarian mojo is bringing up patterns that are really fucking old and that you've bait fished away from before, that you've slithered away from before, that you've been like, it's cool, I can let that go. Personally, believing that we are in a crisis of accountability in the world, if not, at least just in the United States. And the theory here is that, no, you don't have to change your ways if nobody's making you change your ways. But if you don't change your ways at least once, like at least to try to do something differently, then how are you going to break the pattern? How are you going to break the pattern if you don't do anything differently? Or it's not just about action, see, because the cups is an emotional thing. How are you going to break the pattern if you let yourself off the hook again? Right? Because it's hard, or because it hurts, or because, you will never hear me throw shade at you for being hyper emotional. But this card is saying, like, maybe you're being a little too gentle with yourself in this case. Maybe the trick is to know what you know and, have a beginner's mind, but know that you're not a novice. Know that you know better than to think that you can avoid changing again. That's the T. You know better than to think that you can avoid changing again. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You know better than to think that you can avoid changing again. There's no reading this is like an excuse card. It's like, what? No excuses here. P.S. If you don't change, it's fine. Just the pattern's not going to break, and it's going to make that forward progress more challenging until the next fucking astrological alignment comes along that allows you to break some cycles. Yeah, because even though we try to give you this programming to align with these moments, it's like, if you miss a new moon ritual, what? Game over? No, these are not do it or else. These are opportunities for greater alignment, more loving and refined and aligned choices, and conservation of love energy, for yourself so that you can give it to others. Like, be who you are and work from there. Theory is that's what Aquarius is teaching us. Behind the whole zodiac is the energy saying, this is who you really are. And Aquarius is like, so take a look at these patterns and see what's in alignment with that truth of who you really are. And, okay, you're tired. You don't want to change, but like, okay. So, maybe set some, intentions and make promises to yourself to not let yourself off the hook of transformation, even if it's challenging or even if it hurts a little bit. Okay. Now, on to the water babies. Okay, this is basically like a really easy version of the same one in a more emphatic way. It's the Fool reversed. So this says Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You're really not an innocent here. You should be so brave and act like the fool. Act the fool. Go crazy. Do your thing. It just, there's a reminder here that you're not actually an idiot. You're not actually a fool. You are more, because of your sensitivity, because of your emotionality, more of an eternal child, right? And that's cute. We love to be an eternal child, but when placed alongside of this, let me show you the Fool. Hey, there's the Fool. There's the Fool. Oh, no, come on, Fool. Hey, there's the Fool reversed. Theory is that the Fool reversed alongside the Nine of Swords says, break the cycle, confront the patterns that cause you to leap off of every fucking cliff while simultaneously pretending like you've never been here before. That's the theory, is that, like, I think y'all are pretty good at being the fool, at being brave, at jumping, at leaping. But this says that the patterns are going to come forth that illuminate all of the things that kind of push you to extremes. Yeah, that's great. So the guides are showing me this sense of the Fool, upside down, right side up, upside down, right side up, upside down, right side up. The Fool in the tarot is the one who walks through the whole zodiac, right? I mean, not the whole zodiac. Well, yes, the whole zodiac, but in the Fool, it's the whole major arcana in the tarot, right? The Fool is the one who goes on that journey through the whole major arcana. So never thought about this before, but if you put the Fool upright and the Fool reversed together, you kind of get the middle path, the razor's edge. So the theory here is that, like, yes, work with the heart of a child, be brave like the Fool, but also, use the appreciation that you cultivated through Capricorn season and the beginning of Aquarius to also be responsible and accountable. See how it's a similar read to the Page of Cups from the fire signs, but ever so slightly different. Love that. Okay, finally, we end up here with the earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. And we got the Two of Wands reversed. Two of Wands, two of Wands, two ones that beat as one. One, I want you, I need you. Two of Wands. Okay, so love it. So this is the only fire. The tower is pretty fiery, but it was still pretty theoretical. The thing here is that y'all are supposed to be confronting patterns that make you not act, confronting patterns that make you decide not to do anything, confronting patterns that make you not choose. Because I was looking at the roses and the lilies in this card, and they're like, you can wear your heart on the sleeve, you can have the best of intentions in the world, but you, especially you earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, you don't do anything about those intentions. They're just going to turn to mud. They're just going to sit there. But the theory is that this Aquarian new moon, lunation, is making you aware of all of those patterns that bind you and confine you mentally, and in your case specifically, that stop you from making a choice. So, synthesizing all of this, I'm going to come back to this in a second, but for all of the signs, the theory is air signs, confront the patterns that prevent you or make you feel like you can't blow up, break through, pop off, move beyond. Fire babies, confront those patterns, those limiting beliefs that make you pretend like you're a novice, that make you take the easy way out, that make you let yourself off the hook when maybe a little more tenacity, maturity, accountability is required, right? Confront the patterns that stop you from growing up. Water signs. Confront the patterns that make you simultaneously act like you know everything and nothing at all. Confront the patterns that make you pendulum between extreme, sensitivity and extreme paralysis. Confront those patterns, how to find the middle path, and also how to do it anew. Confront the patterns that prevent you from taking a leap of faith with responsibility. Confront the patterns that make you leap or that make you shut down, as opposed to, and also confront the patterns that encourage you to do both, that encourage you to leap and be responsible at the same time in a balanced way. Yes? Okay. And then earth babies, back to you. Confront the patterns that make you drag your feet, that make you hesitate when choosing, that make you not put yourself out there, that confront the patterns that make you hold your truth inside instead of acting it out outside of yourself. Confront the patterns that restrain you and your choices. Okay? That's an intense energy. So, by way of ritual, we're going to just give you that little bit of insight, which is that when you do ritual, open up sacred space by, like we said, getting grounded, making sure you feel safe and protected, maybe doing some protection, shielding, visualization, energy exercises. Call in your ancestors and guides. Call on whatever energies you like to work with. Open your chakras, or at the very least, take a few deep breaths into your heart. And then you declare during the new moon, this is a ritual to honor the new moon in Aquarius. I intend to engage and confront patterns, beliefs, energies. What that one? Why you do that? Hey. I don't know why that disappeared, but we're back. Sorry, Instagram disappeared for a second, but we're all back. Confront. I set the intention to engage and confront the patterns illuminated by the sun in Aquarius, to release power and end cycles that keep me in bondage. Ooh, that keep me and all beings in bondage. Yo, P.S. You can do this now because it's the day before the new moon. So if you like this, just let it run through your body now. But otherwise, just come back here. You can do it tomorrow. 103. In general, a couple days before and after lunar events are a good window to get the mojo of the magic. But, you know, witchies like to do it at night when the moon is either dark or fully and gorgeously illuminated. It doesn't really matter. Time and space aren't as real as we think. So then, theory is that you are setting the intention to engage those patterns. And what the guides are giving us here is to write down the areas of limiting patterns that you would like to illuminate, engage, confront, adjust, and transform. And we're not, I mean, if you have really specific patterns that you want to break, write them down, work with them. It's a powerful moment to do that. If you're not really sure, just give a general inflection. I want to, illuminate, engage, confront, adjust, and transform limiting patterns related to, self-love, self-care, discipline, compassion, service in the world, whatever you've been working with, whatever you want to keep working with. And then the theory would be is that you set those intentions and you would keep them on an altar or in a special box or in a sacred place until the full moon, when you would look at them again and notice if the patterns that you decided you wanted illuminated kind of grew in power as the lunar light also grew. But most importantly, we encourage you, especially if you can pause during the moment of the new moon, wherever you may be, whether you're in Pacific Coast, East Coast, or over one of our wonderful subscribers, followers in Europe, or wherever you may be. 1:03 p.m. Pacific is when the new moon is here in LA. If you pause during that moment and ask that question, the theory is that you might get some input from your intuition, from your heart, from your soul, from your clairaudient ear, from your clairvoyant inner eye, from your empathic heart, from your clairsentient gut, from your claircognizant crown chakra transmitter receiver. So pause with it during this new moon and get whatever information you can from your guides and guardians. Theory is we're just setting the intention to engage during these next couple of weeks. So it's actually okay if you don't know what you're going to do or what you're going to do with this information. It's more so just to create the space over the next 2 weeks to also kind of recontextualize maybe what's been going on over the last 10 days or so. If you've been a little out of sorts since the sun moved into Aquarius, hopefully this transmission will help you to have made some sense of that and really come in to activate that energy internally, personally, and collectively over the course of the next couple of weeks as we build up to the full moon. So I was just tuning in to see if there was anything else that you needed to do after that. But no, you don't really need to do anything else after that. The point is more so to create that space, follow through with that space, and then to end the ritual, you just back yourself out of it. Give thanks to all of the energies that you called in, your guides, your ancestors, the spirits upon the land where you are working, thanking the elements, thanking nature, earth, sky. I mean, just by way of a little extra zhuzh of information from EdibleSpirit HQ here, it's pretty profound. It's like we've spent so many years channeling and maybe even being a channel without knowing it that sometimes these energies just whoosh, throb. But what's fun is that this is how we teach you guys to channel when we do channeling class. And the whole point of it is to have an awareness of the elements that you can control so that when the channel starts to flow, you recognize what you have no control over, what is not you, what is not yours. And you can not get overwhelmed by that energy moving through your body. What's interesting, what just happened, and what happens, every time we do one of these streams, is that it's happening, it's happening, it's happening, and then whoosh. So that's it. That's your Edible Spirit new moon in Aquarius transmission. Thank you, babies. Thank you, beauties. Thank you, thank you, thank you all so much. The funny thing is that even if you weren't here, we would still be doing this shit, and we did do it private and secret for a really long time. It feels so much better to be a family, to be together, to be inclusive. We like to imagine Edible Spirit as a giant, etheric, magical feast table at which we are all seated, at which everyone has a place, at which the price of admission is a vow of relentless, authentic self-expression, and basic humanity. That's all we really ask. But guess what? If you're human, you have that basic humanity. So you're welcome. Why? Because you are so delicious. You're so delicious. You're so delicious. You're so, 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 so delicious. Please follow everywhere. At Edible Spirit on Instagram, at Edible Spirit on Twitter, facebook.com/EdibleSpirit. You can go to EdibleSpirit.com and get all those follows. Also join the mailing list there if you want to get updates but don't want to subscribe yet. You can also find all the information about the Edible Spirit Experience there, or you can go to EdibleSpirit.com/experience-about. The way it works is you sign up. We give you a new password every month that allows you to access all of this content. And, we encourage you to join because we're coming up with things to offer you, to give to you, extra special perks, all sorts of stuff. That's there. And then a couple other things. Yeah, we have the next big, the readings come out every Wednesday. Next big Edible Spirit moment is the Valentine's Day call-in show where subscribers will be given a phone number. And we will do as many readings as we can. And they're not going to be any 2-minute lil pill readings. No tea, no shade. I love doing quick readings, but we're very passionate about getting into this stuff. What do we talk about when we're talking about healing? What is the stuff that works for people when transformation occurs? Just to give you the chance to hear what other people are going through, and to give other people the chance to get guidance for not a lot of money. It's just $10 a month to join the experience. Very low key. So that's going to be on the 14th. And then on the 17th, if you're in Los Angeles, please join us at Alegria Bazaar from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. for the Aura Pix Project, which is a creative offering from Edible Spirit, amazing series that we do whenever possible, for events like this as an offering of unconditional love. It's by donation. We give it all away on the 17th. They're basically 10-minute aura portraits, digital aura portraits, where I take a before and after picture of you and then a body shot in the middle and draw a portrait of your aura. So you get like a mini reading as well as a before and after picture and an aura pic in the middle. Heidi, I think you're asking about the call-in show. I believe it's going to be at 6 p.m. on the 14th. Hi, gorgeous. Hi, Annalise. I love you. So that's going to be on the 17th. And yeah, that's what's really fun about it is that the readings are like 5 to 10 minutes long. And you end up getting a snapshot of the moment with colors and pictures and, understanding what the meaning of your aura is in this moment. But people who aren't sitting in that can also look at the before and after picture and kind of do a blind study and see if they think anything's changed or if any energy has shifted since before and after the aura pic. So yeah, that'll be on the 17th. Otherwise, the full calendar of events is at EdibleSpirit.com. All of the mojo is in that aquarium framework. Aquarian framework. That beautiful intranet. Okay, so just setting the intention to close this space now, giving great thanks to all of the energies that came through: angels, archangels, saints, orishas, ascended masters, spirit guides, ancestors, ancient ones, elementals, nature spirits. Please carry this transmission, these words, to every soul who needs to hear them. Let us all share in the glory of channeling one being, one life, and experiencing each other as one family on one earth, connected by our, yes, very tangible 3D material presence, but also connected by these crystalline matrices of light that perhaps we are more like than the decaying meat sacks we find ourselves in at this time. Thank you, Spirit. Please let this and any other truths that need to be known be known. Clear us all out in our highest good and healing with harm to none. So be it, and so it is. Deep breath in your nose and blowing out the mouth. And this session, this circle, this transmission is complete. Love you all so much. See you next time. Bye.